Hello and welcome to episode 7 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails Hard Mode playthrough here in Cycle 10 Day 2. Last time we finally got our zip lines up and running and connected all over the map currently, and there is so much more still to be done, so we're going to go ahead and dive right on in. A lot of you guys have been asking, when are we going to put sluices in? Well, today's the day, because we finally have metal. I'm going to go ahead and get those guys unlocked, and we're probably going to have to wait until the next drought to actually disassemble this and get sluices put in place, but they are coming, so don't worry, we'll get to that at some point today. And we're also going to finally get into gravity batteries like I promised last time, but you guys reminded me in the comments of a very important thing, and that is to always put the gravity batteries on top of platforms so that you can build underneath them. This simple thing I always forget. But we'll go ahead and put those guys right here. And we're going to have to take a little bit of time to get over here, get the rest of these trees out, build some ladders and so on upstairs, as it were, to get this ready to go. But I think we're going to be in really good shape moving forward here, now that we have flow through and we have all of these lumber mills that we can put to work. And slowly continue the process of getting rid of this area and turning this into just irrigation and maybe a little bit of water pumping as we continue working on other stuff. So in addition to that, again, tons of great comments on the last episode, so thank you very much for keeping me in check and giving me some cool ideas. We are going to eventually work on getting the rest of this a little bit more organized, but very good point. We don't need to have this path here, as tempting as it is, and we do still seem to have at least a couple of beavers who are going to take advantage of that path if they feel like it's a good way to get around, because there's not really a convenient method of getting onto the zip line from this general area. If we're careful about how we have things implemented, we're really not going to need to worry about this. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what? No more stairs. You just have to take the zip line. I'm pretty sure what happened here was somebody just didn't want to walk all the way over here to the zipline station. But rest assured, we can and probably should come in and replace this pylon with another station if we decide to build anything else up here. But this is going to be a good way to make sure that we don't get any beavers dunked in the nasty sauce whenever that comes back through here. And just make this a much more appealing area and a little bit more organized as well. But there you go. That was a very commonly requested thing that we get rid of that. So don't worry. Problem's been totally taken care of, and these guys can continue doing what they need to be doing. Another thing that was brought up is that we are running out of scrap metal reserves, which is going to require that we build additional flags. Keep in mind, this isn't going to last forever. This is not our permanent metal mining setup. This is just what was closest and what we had available. So before we get too comfy with this area being only for metal, we are going to want to take a look and see where else we can go. And of course, there's places over here. There's a couple of others. Honestly, this one might end up being the next one we have to get to. We'll see what happens. Plenty of options, plenty of things to do, including, I know at least a couple of you were unhappy that the pumps here are still paused, but our water storage is basically full. And we already have a little bit of a shortage of beavers. So, all in time, we will continue getting more water storage built up and more beavers working and more beavers just existing in the first place. But we got to take these things at somewhat of a slightly slow process right here. I'm going to get rid of this campfire, and we're going to go ahead and connect this here and then unpause, so that now we're going to have 6 empty beds. We can get some more beavers in here. And we're going to, of course, continue building more stuff as time goes by. But, like I said at the start of this episode, we have a lot of irrigation fixes, a lot of just general industrial area improvements to continue making, as we have the time and ability to do so. So we don't need to be wasting too much more time here. 29%, 47%. I got to get through here, and I'm not going to have any grief about getting rid of one of these trees. So get rid of that guy and get this hooked up straight the way through here. Going to get rid of these trees, and then we're also going to make our way up, not only here, but also over here, because remember we talked about last episode, a couple episodes ago, I can't remember exactly when, But this is going to be a great place to put water wheels for power generation and get everything tied in up here, as well as other stuff too. So lots going on, but we're going to do what we can. I haven't unlocked ladders yet, but we have 1500 science, we have plenty of planks, and we've got a decent amount of logs, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock those. Just as a reminder, the ladders is a mod. It is one of the only mods that I typically use, currently working for Update 7. But you do have to have ladders, and you do have to have Harmony installed for this to be something that will work for you. Just in case you're not familiar with that. So we'll go ahead and put 2 ladders there, which is going to allow us to get access up here and up here. And then these stairs are, they're not like crazy cheaper, but they're cheaper enough for it to be something worth considering just building these if you don't have to put ladders until you have a ton of stuff, and especially if you don't need to have the vertical compactness that these guys offer. But that's beside the point. Currently we're attempting to get all the rest of this stuff just cleared out however we can, so we can make some nice progress here. And if I can remember to click on the right spot, that would be great, but no matter. That's going to be totally fine there. This will get them up here, which means they can start building this, which means they can start building this, which means they can start building this, which means it's going to have to connect to this. Other things we can do up here, like a lot of you pointed out, we can put windmills in very easily, including when we get to the paper for the large windmills. But these guys are cool. I know I don't normally do too much with them, but obviously once this tree's done, we can do something else. But these guys can go on top of vertical power shafts, which is a really convenient way to create, I guess, a universal joint, if you will. Like we have in the vertical power shafts mod, which obviously we're not using currently, but the vertical power shafts mod does, or at some point did have, a universal power shaft in there that was just basically a cube with a connection on every side, so you have 6 possible ways to connect power shafts together. And since you can power this from the bottom, I don't think I'm going to be able to actually show it to you because of the way the camera angle in this game works. But we can plop this guy right on top of here. Again, once the tree is gone, I'm pretty sure the radius is going to cooperate there. But I can put this guy in here, and then I can just have another power shaft come into here. And it'll be a tremendously helpful thing to have not only power storage with the gravity batteries, but also the intermittent power generation of the windmills during droughts when we can't use these water wheels to well, make power or anything like that. So just be aware that that's on the horizon. We're going to be working on that. In addition to additional concerns relating to bad water coming out of here, you guys rightfully pointed out that while these are 3 each, we also have to worry about the water coming out of here. So, you know, it's going to be more than 4 edges here. So whenever this is actually at the point where this canal is going to end, I guess we could kind of check that out right here. So this actually almost perfectly fits. I know it's probably not great to have this just end right like so. But assuming that that's what we're going to do, we're going to put in 4 more of these. I'm not going to place these here because they're going to start building them. But if this is going to be the end of the canal, assuming we have this ready to go again, I'm not going to place it because, oh, that's the ladder construction sound, because they're going to actually start doing it. But it's going to come out here. We're going to have, once this is completely closed in, 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 edges, which at 2.2 each is going to probably be just about enough. Just about. But maybe not quite. So we will need to make sure that we come in and put in, again, depending on where this is actually going to end. I don't have to have another one of these here. They're already generating 803 just with these 4, so if we doubled that, that would be 1,600 plus whatever we have with our windmills that are going to be going in up here, plus this other one here. So, yeah, honestly, if we just get rid of this, then I can just put in 2 of these right here, and that's going to give us more than enough edges if we do nothing else. Or we can continue this, we can blast through, we can tear this all down, and then put it overhangs, and then put our terrain back on top of that. Because remember, that's an Update 7 thing we haven't even touched yet, because we haven't had the resources to do it. But I know you're anxious to see it, and I'm anxious to do it, so we're going to work it in as soon as we can. Well, without sacrificing playability or other stuff that we probably should be focusing on first, but we are going to get there. Let's take these temporary water wheels out. I just wanted to make a demonstration of that so we know we're all on the same page there. But they're going to be continuing with this, getting rid of trees. I think once this staircase is in, they should be able to take these trees out that we do have to remove to put the paths in. But if not, we can just put another one of these lumberjacks further up this way and not have any issues. Other stuff that we probably should be concerned about, looking at my notes here. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have to have tiny storage for the dandelions. I know I made a statement in the last episode about wanting to be prepared for the eventual infection of our beavers with the bad tide waters. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does, we do want to have the ability to defend against that. And that is going to just require that we put in a couple of small warehouses somewhere. It doesn't have to be a super convenient place. This just is an emergency stockpile, right? So wherever it ends up going that makes sense, I'm just going to put these right here because this is a pretty simple spot. We need to have storage for berries, and we need to have storage for the dandelions. Again, just going to pop this here where it can be kind of out of sight, out of mind, but not inaccessible for if and when we should need it. Again, that goes into the herbalist building. That also requires paper to make the antidote, which we're going to get to in due time. But trying to future-proof at least a little bit before I get in over my skis and some sort of bad thing happens. Moving right along, we made progress last episode with our food storage as well, although I did take away the carrot stuff because I wanted to make sure that we were focusing on the better stuff like the grilled potatoes, and making a little bit of progress on bread as well, which is tremendously successful, already completely filling the storage that we have here. And we will be working toward large warehouses. We don't have to sprint through everything, though. Remember, we're still having fun playing the game. This is not a speed run. I'm sure there are people who do Timberborn speed runs, but I'm definitely not one of them. I don't think that's a skill set I have, and I won't subject you to it. So with that understanding, let's come back over here. Looks like this is ready to go, and okay, it's only going to reach this one tree, so I am going to go ahead and get rid of that lumberjack flag, and we're going to move them a little bit closer. In fact, I kind of don't want to put it up here, but it's going to be necessary if we want to actually get the rest of these trees out. I guess probably to put them right there. That'll be fine. And get these three especially, and then we can get over here, start building this stuff. And we're going to be in good shape, folks. Very good shape. And that just about does it in terms of the major themes of comments for people wanting me to fix stuff that we've already talked about. But of course, there's other stuff that just kind of needs to be done regardless. And reservoir expansion is way, way, way high up on that list. I hear you. I see you. Your concerns are valid, and we're going to address them. But it's been one of those things for the first couple episodes where we've always had enough, and the colony's not huge enough for this to be a crazy issue yet. That doesn't mean it's not worth looking into, doesn't mean it's not worth doing. We just have been focusing on some other things. And I think it's going to be a good idea for us, to just kind of utilize this part of the geography to our advantage and build in a little bit more of a here. But I'd like to do it in such a way where it's not going to be completely ugly and not going to be something that ends up hindering our progress further on down the line. We also, don't forget, do have access, when we get to that point, to the 3D terrain. And a lot of you guys do like to see those big reservoirs. I remember there's a lot of really enthusiastic people who are fans of the thing we built in the Update 6 playthrough with the Iron Teeth when that hit the main branch. Where we had the just giant reservoir covering, I think, like a 25% of the map, which was really cool. And we can do that without using levees. We can do that with the terrain blocks. We can do that with overhangs and all sorts of fun stuff. And that's definitely something we can look into. Again, it's episode 7. It's going to take some time to get there. And I don't want to sacrifice the playability of the rest of the stuff just to try to rush the crazy stuff. It takes time. You know, the Skystorm videos that he puts in like 8 hours a day to make those. And this is real time. I don't cut stuff out, so it's not going to happen that fast. I'm sorry, it's just not. But I think we can still have a whole lot of fun doing stuff the way we like to do it. So, scrap metal is still looking okay. This is still making a decent amount of power, but there's no real security here in terms of power stability, which is going to probably necessitate that we make at least one gravity battery if we're serious about running this at all the time. I don't think I want to dedicate the resources to that quite yet. Maybe we got drought approaching, though, so there's better stuff we can be doing with our time and our efforts. Like, for example, turning on gear production. Getting these guys in here because we need to make more storage. Definitely need to make more storage. We need to get a better handle on how we're pumping water. And that's something I told you guys we're going to fix today, so I need to actually do it. Remember, we have all this space here, and we can just keep making this taller. We can have this entire area just be water storage, water pumping, water reservoir, etc., so on and so forth. But again, I don't want to rush into doing it and make it look terrible, so it's going to need to be something we do incrementally. And I did say we're going to work with the sluices during the droughts, so this is a good opportunity for us to do just that. And kind of work on pumping this out, and then we can decide, all right, we're going to bring this all the way out here and just cut this river off, or we can do this little bit, we can do this tiny bit, which probably isn't a great way to do that, but I think I'm going to probably personally lean toward just bringing this all the way out here and then filling this entire thing up, which is going to be a lot of wood, but we're growing a decent amount of wood. There's plenty over here to cut down, and there's still some available here as well, which we will need to keep an eye on. But remember, when we have a drought and we don't have water flowing through here, then these guys can't operate, and we're going to be basically beholden to these two beavers running on wheels until we get gravity batteries and vertical power shafts in place. Each one of these vertical power shafts requires gears. The gravity batteries require gears, 40 apiece, by the way. So, you know, to actually make good use of this, and it won't be for the whole drought either, we're going to have like 60 gears just to use one of these, because we have to go up here, and then there's going to be all this other nonsense. And then I want to build windmills as well, which don't take gears. Well, the small ones don't. So, while it's very important to expand water storage, again, we have 70 beavers. We have 1,400 water stored right now. I think it's going to be okay. So, all that yapping aside, let's go ahead and get this into triple speed mode. Get more gears made. I don't think we have any active construction projects that are going to be consuming them. So, we should be able to get these guys in here, get these trees out of the way, and make our way over to this area, and hopefully keep making plenty of planks, because we have to have the planks to make gears, and then be able to utilize this stuff when the time comes, which theoretically is already here, but you know how it goes. Food's looking great. Variety obviously leaves a little bit to be desired, but we will get there when we get there. I think, based on how this is hooked up now, I probably can't get rid of this lumber mill without having the ability to immediately replace it with Gear Workshop. Probably would be smart to do this one instead. Especially since, you know, we have these guys up here now. So let's put in this guy. Make this the top priority. Get a beaver in here, making more gears. You know the drill. Won't take too long. Because once they get access to the rest of this, they should be able to build it pretty quick. And it's not that big of a deal if this doesn't get finished until the drought is already here. Because, again, a gravity battery starts fully charged. Well, I said again, I haven't said this before in this playthrough, but I feel like it bears repeating. Even if I haven't said it before, I don't know that that even makes any sense at all. It's been a long day. But the gravity battery starts fully charged. So even if there's nothing going on underneath, it's going to have a little bit of power for at least as much time as it takes for this little weight to go all the way down to the hole at the bottom of the map, which is the height shore mod doesn't currently work in update 7, or I wasn't able to get it to work. Maybe it does and I'm just dumb. But this is probably 22, 24,000 HPH, which will run one of these for a while. Cycle 10, so we could theoretically get to I think the full drought length. Could be wrong. Now we got 25 gears. We're making good progress. Just got to get these guys to get these trees out of the way. In fact, is this close enough here? Well, I don't really need to worry about it. Like I said, they'll get there when they get there. It's just a matter of how fast they can get there. Water storage continues to be almost full and is already enough for most of the drought lengths I think we could see. We will continue improving. We will continue pumping. And I really want to make sure we can have a reservoir expansion taken care of before it's too late to utilize all of the time that we've been given here. But what we can go ahead and do is we can decide where the boundaries for this are going to be for this expansion that we're building. And I think it's going to make the most sense, we already unlocked the sluices, for that to be right about here. And the amount of flow that we have coming through here, I believe, if we just hit pause real quick, go into dev mode so I can check this again. I looked at this a bunch of times, I know. 1, 1, 1. Okay, so it's only 3. That's a little anticlimactic. But that helps us out. So our total flow through here, maximum possible flow would be 9. Which is definitely fine with what we got. But 3 flow coming through this means we only need a single sluice. So I'm just going to leave that guy right there. And since we have all of this ready to go, I'll just go ahead and start putting this across the way here. And this doesn't have to be a river anymore, so we can just kind of have this go straight the way across right here. Lose a little bit of land for tree planting, but I'm not going to lose sleep over that. We'll just unplant these and these. Fill this in the rest of the way. It'll get taken care of. It'll look pretty nice when we get there. But before this drought ends, before the drought starts, let's just make sure everything is looking good here. I really don't think this is going to be that big of an issue, and they're not automated, so I don't want to mess with them. But I did want to make sure that these were set at a reasonable level where it's not going to cause problems later. We got rid of those. These are set fine. This is not going to be relevant anymore pretty soon. This is set good. That's the most important thing, is that this is set to 3.0 and it looks like we're good. All right, drought time. How long of a drought are we going to have to deal with today? Yeah, 13 days. We're totally fine. We're totally fine. So what that's going to allow us to do is hit pause on these because there's no power going to them, and that'll focus our beavers on other stuff. Currently, these guys are collectively drawing 420 HP. I almost call it horsepower. It's not horsepower, it's beaver power. Or Honda Preludes, Harry Potters, Hewlett Packards, whatever your preferred abbreviation for HP is. And these two guys running, plus this windmill, not going to cut the mustard. Not going to do it. So I'm going to pause that guy. And, you know, 201 out of 300 is a whole lot better than 201 out of 420. So the process continues with them doing what they're going to do. And they can start building all this stuff, too. Nice and easy. Oh, that's 6%? Okay, no. These trees are gone. These trees are gone. We're not going to wait. No need to wait. Absolutely no need to wait. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what? Bring it on. Put these things in the corner. Even though we don't really need to have this here. So I guess I could just do that. Nice and easy. Make sure we don't get any silly billies, silly-billied before it's time for them to be silly billies. They do love doing that, by the way. They absolutely love getting stuck in extremely stupid ways. But that's fine. We love them anyway. Alright. I'm going to make the executive decision to unmark these trees for cutting because I'm sick of having to wait for this guy to come in here and take care of all the rest of this. You know what? He probably also could use a pile. I don't have enough room for a large pile, so just put a small one in. Get that built so this can stop being a problem. There we go. See? See? We're already making some great progress here. And we will need to increase the height. I know we'll get there. We'll get there. But building this bottom bit is going to allow us to continue draining this to the point where we can reclaim some of this wood and then start building across the way. as one does. Let's go ahead and get that in place. They can build that from the top or the bottom. And get this going as well. I'll need to remove these berries, which might seem like a bad thing. But remember, the Folktails don't need the berries to breed. They're only like a backup food source or for when we have to mess with the antidotes. So, I will not be a complete monster. I will go ahead and put in a gatherer flag. They can gather the berries, and we can put them in a berry repository, which we do have space for 30 of them here. And since there's currently nothing else being built over here, I will go ahead and just put in a berry storage because it's costs so little to just build this and have the space available. Let them take care of this. I have an extra beaver, actually, so let's go ahead and put in 2 of those and just get this mostly removed before it becomes an issue. Get rid of that, and then I will start removing some of these bushes that have already been harvested, just so we don't have to worry about it later. And continue building this just like we like to do. Now, once this one's in place, they can build all of this at once because they can just walk up to it. So no issues there. Same kind of deal here. Continuing our progress this way, it looks like we have access to here. And once these 2 trees are gone, I can just build this right over here. And then they can start bringing in all those gears we repaired earlier. We didn't repair them, we prepared them. My descent into madness will be studied. But I think, yeah, we're looking good here, folks. This is going to be like the most productive episode ever. I love that for us. Tremendous, tremendous progress. Okay, some more of these can be removed. Look at us go. Look at us go. We got 60 berries. Yes, they're bringing them all the way down here. It's not a super optimal setup, but hey, if it works, it works. And we're still making gears. We definitely need them. I would love to be able to have both of these ready to go. Now, I've got an extra beaver. Where can I put them? I guess we could keep pumping. That's not a bad idea. Even if we are almost full on water, we do want to make sure we're capturing as much of that as we can. Very, very anxious to see them start construction on all of this stuff. And it looks like we've reached that time, so we should see this get built with startling quickness. Because most of these are pretty simple. Look at them go. Look at them go. I love this. So much progress. I don't have enough gears to build both of these, and also the vertical power shafts, so I am going to pause this one gravity battery. If we somehow manage to have enough gears to build this one as well, without waiting too long, then I will unpause it. But I wanted to make sure that this one gets done first, because that's going to hook up here, and hopefully not be too much of a burden. I'm going to keep this platform here so we can continue to have access underneath here, and that's going to require that we put in something that makes a little bit more sense. There we go. It's a little convoluted, but that's fine. That's the way this goes. We don't have the universal shaft. Oh, you know what? No, I said I was going to put in a thing here, but I might not be able to, depending on how this is set up. Well, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. We have the ability to just turn this into a 3-way. And I think that's going to end up being better anyhow. But I digress. They're going to be working on it. They're going to continue doing what they got to do. And we're going to continue doing what we got to do. They're coming in here to finish these levees. These are all still accessible. As are these. They haven't gotten over here yet. Hopefully nobody gets silly-billied. You know how it goes. We're just about finished with all of these, which is going to get those guys out of there. We are still pumping directly out of the reservoir, and this is dry, so it's going to be so much easier when we have all this stuff completely automated. Just put this down to 2.0. Oh, which does bring me back to a comment that I got asking why we don't use the stream gauges. Unfortunately, these don't actually serve a purpose for automation without the simple floodgate triggers mod. It does give us useful info on water depth, flow, and bad water contamination, as the thing here tells us, but it does unfortunately not give us any sort of benefit whatsoever in terms of actually automating stuff. I know there's a couple of you who are asking about that. That's what the sluices are great for, is because they do allow us to have a limited amount of automation based on either depth or contamination status. So that's why I'm pushing to move toward that, and hopefully ends up being totally fine. Now I do think that this one sluice here is going to be enough for 3. If it's not, let me know and we'll change it. But as it stands now, we're 31 minutes into recording this, and I'm not going to know anybody's opinions on what's happening here until at least 2 hours after this point in time when it goes up for the beard boosters. So, speak now or forever hold your peace. And I didn't hear anything from any time travelers, so I'm just going to assume that this. I'm just going to assume this is fine. No, but in all seriousness, if this does end up being a problem, then we can just come in and fix it. But I do think the single sluice is going to be enough for this paltry amount of flow we're going to come out of here with. And we should be in pretty good shape. So they can't reach this until this is taken care of, and all of these are ready to go. So let's go ahead, get these guys in here to remove the berry bushes. Totally fine. Yes, we do not have any berry bushes currently growing, but don't worry. We have the ability to grow some over here should we so choose. I don't think we really need to have any. But, you know, there's always an opportunity to put some somewhere. And we might as well, since we have the ability, just pop in a staircase and put a couple berry bushes down there just in case. It's land we're not currently able to use anyhow. So, that's removed. I'm not going to get rid of the slope because there's no reason for that. But what I will go ahead and do is get rid of the path here. And we're going to start sealing this thing up as soon as I remove this path. We'll just pop that in there, and then pretty soon they'll be able to walk across the top here and continue building everything else. But as for the rest of this, it's just going to have to get built when it has the ability to get built. But don't forget, we have the ability to get up top here. Take care of that as well. All in due time. All in due time. Take this down to 1.0. Making progress here. Hey, look at that. Look at that. This is connected, which means when the time comes, and it will come very soon, I can turn on one or more of these lumber mills, which I will go ahead and do. And as soon as they get in here and start making lumber, then all of our 26,000 HPH will be able to put to good use. And there's only 5 days left in the drought anyway. But that feels really good. Let's go ahead and put this gravity battery in here. Make sure that these trees are marked for cutting, but that's out of the range of the lumberjack flag, so away it goes. And I'm going to put one up here, which as soon as we get these trees removed, then I'll probably have to get rid of it. But yes, progress continues. And I would be remiss to not put in additional water wheels in these exact spots while we're waiting. Because, remember, bad water is bad. I don't think I had to tell you that, but sometimes it's helpful to have reminders. Looks like this can probably be safely just opened all the way down there. I've got extra beavers, which is going to mean that we have to go ahead and get rid of this stuff. I am going to take this off at triple speed because I feel like we're losing a little bit too much time too quickly before I can actually react to stuff. And we're going to want to get the rest of these pieces out. Why would you go that way, you stupid idiot? There we go. And this has to go away as well. I think based on the amount of water we have left here, I probably don't have the ability to get rid of this exactly right now. But I'm going to put this down to 2.5 because we do need to continue collecting all the rest of these pieces. They will be able to get some of this stuff Well, actually, no, because I just closed that off. But we do need to just probably bite the bullet, get rid of all this, and I can worry about moving it in toward this area a little bit later. This is probably, yeah, it's about half full across all the way to here. Okay. I'll just go ahead and get rid of it. At least down to that bit. See if that ends up overflowing. No, it looks, well, flow rate was a little bit much for the one sluice. That will not normally be a problem. That's looking fine. All right, let's get the rest of this in place. We'll just go ahead and at least have the lower bit complete. That will hold overall more water than this was, so it's not a complete waste if we don't have that finished by the time the drought is over. It looks like in a little bit we'll be able to get the rest of this back in place. We don't have room for the logs that are down here anyway, so that's not going to be a concern for right now. Anything else we want to take care of over here in terms of building? Wait, what do you mean this is too... Ah, okay. Nope, that's my fault. It's my fault. See, this is why. This is why it's not always great to play on 3 times speed all the time. Let's get this in place, and then let's get these guys built first, because we absolutely cannot build these during a regular cycle or a bad tide. This stuff we can, because remember, this is still protected. That's still totally fine. So we will be taking care of that. If I had the confidence that I would be able to completely replace this with the sluice before time is up, I would do it. But presently, I don't think that is the case. I'm much more interested in increasing capacity before I increase convenience. So, now that that stuff's been taken care of, I do feel fine going ahead and getting back into triple speed. Water is still looking totally fine at almost completely full capacity. I know we have some beavers who aren't working, but yeah, I guess we could just go ahead and turn these back on. That's fine. We are going to need to get some more planks pretty quickly anyhow. Continue to build this stuff piece by piece. Slowly. It'll end up being totally fine. Did we get our berries planted? We did. Excellent. Very good. These are both connected now. That was a good move getting that in place. Overhangs are going to be pretty important here in a little bit, but we haven't quite gotten to that point yet. I haven't forgotten about our metal storage being just about full. That's something that we probably should continue building. Again, even if it's ugly, remember, this is not permanent. So, that's totally fine to leave there. They got those built up, which is fantastic news. Take this off at triple speed because I am losing a little bit to time here. Let's go ahead and let them start building from the top and the bottom. That needs one more height here, and then once these two are built, then I can put in the corner pieces. And then I believe, if I'm smart about how I do this, I can put a ladder here in the corner. I know there's not a path hooked up to it, but they will still use ladders. Builders will, to get to other parts of a build if the distance still makes sense. So let's see. Yeah, here they go, putting that stuff in. Got 2.3 days left. I think we're going to be able to get enough of this done where it's going to make sense. And that's what matters, right? See, look at this. We have so much battery capacity here. This is fantastic. Really, really, really good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and take away the danger stairs, because you know some of these beavers like to live dangerously. To a degree that makes me uncomfortable. But that's fine. I'm not a beaver. Alright, folks. Come on, finish this thing so I can put these other pieces in. There we go. Get these guys going. If I had... Well, I do have science, but if I had a tremendous amount of science, I would just spend it on researching these bridges and then just building all this at once. But this, honestly, I don't think is tall enough for that to really make a huge difference. I think we're going to be totally fine. Now, I will note, building the ladders here does kind of create the possibility of silly billies. So, for those of you who are not aware, silly billies is the name that we, as a collective, came up with to denote the beavers that get themselves stuck in construction projects. So by building this one level at a time, we can block their progress to get to the back here without first building the closest things that are going to prevent them from getting trapped. It ends up making sense. You just trust me on this. It might not be the way you like to do it, but it's the way that works for us, and that's totally fine. How are we looking over here? Power-wise, yeah, wow, that's so much reserve power. See, the gravity batteries are cool, I just think they're ugly. I really like the flywheels mod. I don't think it's been updated for update 7 yet. But valued beard booster and long-time viewer, Battery Smooth, came up with that. And I like to use those whenever I can. Alright, so they got that done. Now it's time for another ladder in the corner. And then they can build from this way, that way, and this way, that way. At least until they run out of space from this tile, which honestly probably is only going to be maybe these 3. We'll see what happens. Water remains totally fine. Food is still looking really good. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this floodgate, get rid of that levee. And I think, yeah, we have to play a little bit of crisis management with these stupid piles again. All right, then get that up to that one. Get that up to that one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there's a blueberry bush. Well, it's going to drown anyway. It's fine. But guess what? Guess what? The drought's just about over. And, despite that, this is looking like it's going to be able to be finished before the end of the temperate cycle, and that is very exciting news. So now that Silly Billy possibility has ended, I'm going to go ahead and put those ladders in the corner. I'm pretty sure they can still reach it, but that's fine there. Alright, now get up there. Before we get to this, I'm going to create a defensive perimeter here. There we go. Now, if this looks stupid, trust me, it is. But it is the only way that I have personally been able to guarantee that these guys don't send the piles way off into the corner of the map where nobody can reach it. So that's just one of those things that you know you just kind of have to accept. 365 logs and 20 planks, all waiting for us to get recycled. Very good. There is no possible way for the beavers to get corrupted by bad water here, so that is a tremendous improvement. And once again, water is still totally fine at 1400. Going to continue. Now that we actually have gears, we can expand capacity. But again, I'm much more interested in having this be finished. And that is what we're going to hope can fill up during our temperate cycle here. Remember, it could be as short as, what, 5 or 6 days? Look how much quicker they can go like this. Just tremendous, tremendous things happening. You love to see it. You really do. And these are turning again. We got these going. It is about time now for us to come in. I'm not going to start building this yet, but we do need to keep expanding this way. I think in terms of the actual amount of water coming through during a bad tide, again, our total flow is 9 CMS here. I don't think it's going to be enough to justify building another levee wall here. Pretty sure it's going to all be able to come down here just fine. But that is one of the reasons why I build these up on the platforms, just in case. It's a little too much. It's fine, but it is cheaper than building all of this with levees. How are we looking here? Okay, they're making great progress on that, even if it is slightly slower. Still looking good. Still looking good. Yeah, go ahead and put this here and here. And then before we build a building in front of it, I'm going to put in a water wheel here. And then, of course, that I forgot. I do forget frequently, but that needs to be replaced with an upward power shaft so that can be reconnected into the network, and then that'll loop all of these in as that happens. And I've got enough space here to go ahead and, I think, for our current needs, 3 of these making planks is probably enough, and I'm going to go ahead and put a gear workshop here as well. We've got planks here, we've got logs here, and I don't have a giant storage yet. But gear storage here, very close to the zipline station, I think is going to be a smart choice. And our only other gear storage is basically where it was being made, so we definitely needed to have a place for those to go. Oh! Well, somebody miscalculated. I don't know whoever could have seen this coming. I think... Oh, okay, this it closed because of the downstream depth thing. All right, so let's open that. This got a little too high, and then bad things happened. But now all of this will eventually go away. I know. Your frustration is palpable. I can hear it in advance. You know, the thing that really sucks about this is these poor blueberries. These poor blueberries are all going to die as a direct result of my incompetence. But you know, that's showbiz, baby. Let's take this out of triple speed here. Is this really going to flood this thing this whole time? I feel like it is, and that is incredibly disappointing because now it's a little late to fix it. Okay, easy thing to do. Easy thing to do to kind of prevent this from getting worse is going to be to just remove this tree and put a levee here. I know. Your rage fuels me. But in all seriousness, it's going to be okay. It's going to be alright. And we just have to... How does this always happen to me, man? How does this always happen to me? Come on! It shouldn't be flowing this fast out of here. This is only 3 CMS. It should not matter. It should not matter. This is plenty low enough for all of our flow to just not result in flooding. Alright. Stop this. Just stop it. Get some help. Just build this immediately. Solve all of our problems. This is 2 edges. That's 4.4 capacity. This is only 3. How is that possible? How is it possible this is causing so many problems? Alright. This is now closed because the depth is higher than 0.9. Hopefully it can still fill up or I'm going to look like an absolute idiot. But I think they can get, well, at least another couple of rows of this. I'll have to keep an eye on this filling up. Hopefully not too much faster than that. Okay, gear production here is looking good. Let's, man, I don't want to take the builders away from building this, but we do need to build more storage for water. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. Yeah, I can't take them away from this. Even if this isn't, there we go. Let's raise this back up to 1.8. I think this is going to be fine if this is at 1.8 and that's set to 0.8. Basically, it's only going to release as long as these guys are pumping, which they currently are. But I do want to get the numbers, the numbers here. No, the level, not the numbers. The numbers are how we measure the level. I don't know who I was talking to there. Probably me, but that's fine. We'll just move on. Do I want to go ahead and put in windmill up here? See, this will work here. If I have this above the path, that might actually be slightly better idea. And yeah, if I put this above the path here, because I know I'm not going to get it here. If I put it above here, then I don't think I can get it hooked up here. I don't know. You know, there's no rule that says it has to be perfect, beautiful, wonderful every single time. So we don't need to hold ourselves to that impossible standard. Okay, drought approaching. Is this flooding yet? No, but it's about to. All right. Oh, here comes the problems again, boys and girls. Here comes the problems again. Let's not triple speed this thing. Let's open these to where this does not flood. Although it is getting very close. Very close. That's not enough. Not enough flow. Is this... Oh, this is still closed. Alright. Oh, no. Okay, that's set to 0.7... Oh, I'm going to get absolutely torn apart for this. Set that to 0.75, which should open. No, it's not. No, no, I lied. I can't read numbers. We've established this. Now it's open. Please do not flood. Please do not flood. I'm asking so nicely. I've been so polite. Please don't do this to me. Alright. You forced my hand. I gotta dump all this now. Oh, here we go. Yeah, those berries are toast. They're so dead. Alright, come on. Really? I know for a fact this is enough. It's enough flow. I'm going to look at YouTube analytics for this video, and it's going to say like 10,000 people unsubscribed after watching it, but that's fine. I'm not here for clout. I'm here to play beavers. Just why? Why are the water physics in this game the way they are? The maths. This should not ever flood. There's no reason for this. No reason for this. At least we have full water storage, and we didn't even come close to needing any more. All of this could have been easily prevented if this levee was just finished. But it's not. It's fine. It's fine. This is, believe it or not, this is still more water that was stored up here before, so it's a net positive, even if they don't finish this in the next 2.4 days. I know I've got... Yeah, I got 12 beavers working on this. They really should be going considerably faster. But I guess this is still kind of far away. Alright. If I can manage to find like a happy equilibrium here, that would be great. Because right now this is set to close above downstream depth of 0.9. And now it says the downstream depth is 0.86. I don't really... Oh, now it's 0.87. I don't really want to lower this, but... Yeah. Yep. Why? Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Stop it. Don't do this to me. Well, if nothing else, we are building windmills up here, which is something that was requested. So, you know, progress is being made. Just might not be as quick or as competently as you might prefer. But we are getting stuff done. The water storage is still full. We're totally fine. Just 2 days. 2 days. Can they finish this in 2 days? As this continues to lower... See, this is why I have trust issues. Well, there are many reasons, but I gotta get more water stored. Once this is done, it's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be a problem. It just, for whatever reason, in this intermediary stage, this is just an enormous issue. I am going to come back in and put a spillway in. I did remember that that was a thing that had to exist. But it's too late to do that now. I need them to just finish this no matter what. So here we go. Now they're working with a sense of urgency. I don't know what took them so long. Alright, so now this is super full. So it's automating between open and closed, which I guess is what I wanted. But at this point now, I'm just going to say permanently close until it gets too high. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Yeah, this isn't really going up that quickly. Okay, now it super is. Why is it suddenly going up so much faster? Why? Don't do this to me. Don't make me do this again. Because this is going to absolutely surge out of here. Okay, open. Open. Drain down a little bit. Come on, beavers. You got point. This is not going to work. Come on. All you got to do is build this one, and then even just that one. Even just that one. All right, we're closing it again. Come on, beavers. Come on. All right, now you can come in here and you can build this. 18-hour day? Nah. 24-hour day. 24-hour day. Maximum efficiency. Make it happen. Good. That's taken care of. Now I guess I can, I don't have to have them continue working forever. But that was the goal here, was to have this ready to go. To be all the way full, and to a certain extent we succeeded, to a certain extent we failed. But remember, this is still a ton more water than we had before. Now this can be set to 1.8 again, like I originally wanted it to. This is hooked up. We have 2 windmills, we have full gravity batteries, and I've got this guy that can go away as well. Take this off a 24-hour, back to 18. And there we go. We are, wow, this video's already an hour long. Yikes. How long is this drought going to be? 13 days. Okay, we're definitely not going to have time to get through this, but despite our many problems and many frustrations that I am sure we all share, this is complete. And it has stored a tremendous quantity of water that I think we can all be very happy about. So, now that this is no longer a tremendous, huge, frustrating issue, I'm going to go ahead and have this set at 1.8. This is going to close above the downstream depth of 0.75. We're going to open it. We're going to fill the pumping reservoir. That isn't going to remain a pumping reservoir forever, mind you, but currently is, and we're going to let this fill up just enough to keep it full enough, and there we go. That should be perfectly fine for the next 13 days, and then we can come back over here to where our gravity batteries and our windmills are pulling double duty to make sure these guys can run at all times, and we can finally have gears and planks operating all at the same time. Look at that. We got 148 gears. So many gears. So many gears. Which means that now these water wheels can go away. This was already paused. I'm going to take this out. This water wheel for right now are still powering the grist mill. So that probably should stay in place. But pretty soon all that's going to be moved. I do want to get rid of this before we go too far over here. Well, that sounds like a problem for next time when we address the rest of these concerns. I know we didn't really do too much over here, but we did get rid of all the trees. We doubled our metal storage, which is now 100 units away from being full. And we've got a pretty nice amount saved up here. And you know what that allows us to do? Talking about water storage, we can unlock this large tank for 600 science points. And now we can double our storage capacity with a single building. And we absolutely want to make a good use of all of our space up here. So that's going to be a great way to do it. And I think right here in the center of town is going to be a perfect spot for a large tank. We'll just make it pretty close over here to where the zipline station is. Let's put that right there. They can build that. And now that we have ladders unlocked, don't forget, we have a tremendous opportunity to directly integrate those into our system here for ultimate convenience instead of having to go all the way around. So let's make that ladder first, and then this guy can be next. And friends, I think that is going to get us to a pretty good stopping point for today. Thank you for bearing with me through the incredible, unbelievable frustration of constructing water flow devices. I don't know how I always manage to mess it up, but I do. It's fine, and you still keep watching anyway, so either that's a comforting thing or it's a concerning thing. I guess you can decide for yourself what that means. But regardless, I'm glad we get to spend this time together, having fun with the new update, and having to deal with all the other fun stuff that comes with that. But we're really, really in a good spot. Have a huge, huge new reservoir capacity. I know it's not a mega reservoir yet, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're about to double our water storage capacity when they finish that large tank. Our zip lines are looking fantastic, even though we didn't do anything else to it this time. But that's going to be coming sooner rather than later as we continue moving into this area up here, which I think is going to be a good candidate for our next zip line spot. Let's actually check and see real quick if that's going to be viable. Is this going to be close enough? Oh yeah, 21 meters? Definitely. We can definitely put another one of these up here. So just because we can. What if I put this guy up at the very corner of the map? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's 30 meters right on the dot, and it's 17 degrees. So well within spec. That's going to give us access to the top up here. Remember, we're going to have other stuff up here, and that's going to be nice to have as well. So before we say goodbye, I'm going to pop that guy there, and then that's going to give us a really great access to up here. But they're not going to build it today because they have to build all this other stuff. There you go. Tremendous, tremendous success this episode, even though I'm pointing at the damn structure you can't see because I don't have a camera on myself. But even though we had our challenges, we still managed to get stuff done. And we've made tremendous improvements in just about everything else that actually needed to have improvements. So appreciate you being here, Beard Boosters, of course. Your continued support makes it possible to keep doing these videos and replace this computer that crashed on me 3 times today. So it's finally happening. The motherboard should be coming in this weekend, and I should be able to get that taken care of. And I'm hopeful that the next episode of this series that I record will be on the new build. We'll see what happens. But again, you guys make all this possible, so I'm very thankful for your support and your patience when stuff goes a little bit wrong in these videos. But what can I say? It's fun either way. I hope whatever you do with the rest of your day, you have a fun and a safe time, and we will see you very soon for more Update 7, for more Apocalypse Mode, and for more of the Ember Pelts as well. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.